All right, so let's. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Two Moms and Some Labels. Thank you for joining us today. Two Moms and Some Labels is a platform for parents and caregivers caring for a loved one who has special needs. And we are trying to bring a platform for us all to commune, network, and just find ways, different ideas, and ways to help get through challenging times. So, here today on this episode, we are talking about the PPEC. So, if you don't know what PPEC stands for, that's PPEC, Prescribed Pediatric Extended Care. And so, today with us, we have our special guest, Thomas LoBianco, and we have my co-host with me, Nicole, the fierce mompreneur.
Hello.
So, Thomas, if you want to take it away, introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about you, how you got into this, because I feel like, when people get into this field, caring for this community of people, or even just working with this community of people, there's always some kind of story behind it that, makes them want to be involved in this. So if you can introduce yourself and let us know about you and why you got into this field.
Okay. My name is Thomas LoBianco. I am the Director of Marketing for Tender Care Medical Services. We actually were the first independently owned PPEC in the state of Florida over 30 years ago with our first center in Fort Lauderdale. So we've got a lot of experience behind it. We are also a family business. So that's kind of how I got involved about 10 years ago. I had my own business and was doing okay, but then Tender Care was opening a new location, and I had the opportunity to come on board and help launch that facility in Dunellen. And I'll tell you, it was the best decision I've ever made. I couldn't be happier with what I do. Um, right now, I love being able to try to reach people and help them, and make a difference for the child and their families. Uh, I've got 5 kids. A little story about that. I don't know if you want to get into that.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I was the administrator at our Dunellen facility, and we had twin girls that had just started. They were in the NICU, and they were just placed with us for about 2 weeks in Dunellen, and they were being removed from their home and didn't have placement. So I text my wife and said, "Do you want twins for the night?"
Oh, wow.
That night, DCF was at our door, pictures, interview, and they said, "Are you prepared to have them for 18 years?" We're like, "Well, I guess if that's what it takes." And here we are 3 years later. We have permanent guardianship with the hopes of adopting. And I've seen firsthand what intensive therapies and the care that we provide at a PPEC can do.
Wow. That is an amazing story. Touching. That is very touching. Wow.
And for you to be the one to be like, look,
right,
wifey, let's, take
as a man, that's like, woo.
Right. And they're not typical kids. They're kids that have, medical needs.
Yeah.
So those are outcomes. And wow, that is amazing.
They've actually, thank God, they've been cleared by almost every specialist. They've been discharged from therapies. They're still followed by the neonatal team up until they're 5, to make sure that everything's going well. But they're in a regular preschool now and thriving.
Good.
And I did ask her, but my wife, I knew when I asked her the type of person my wife is, and she wouldn't say no.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Well, that is an amazing story there. And I'm so glad that they are thriving and doing so well. That is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a blessing.
So
That's a good story.
that is the benefits though of PPEC. When your child's enrolled at the PPEC, they get the nursing services they need as well as therapies, and they'll get those therapies 2 to 3 times a week depending on what their plan of care is written for. And the difference that can make for a child is unbelievable. You see them, we get to witness children walk that they said might not walk, or children that will start communicating with devices, even the eye gaze devices. They're incredible. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but they are unbelievable. The technology and the way they can help these children now is just amazing.
And I've always said PPECs are good for families as well because it gives that normalcy.
Yes.
I know when my son went to PPEC, it was exciting because when we were in the hospital, they didn't really talk about PPEC. So it was just, you're going to have to depend on nursing. You're going to be this, you're going to be that. And it was just like, wow, so we're going to be stuck in the house. How am I going to work? Working from home 5-6 years ago wasn't a big thing as it is now. And to be able to have that normalcy of dropping my baby off to a daycare with nurses, receive therapies, and I can actually go to work to be able to provide. I think that is a big part of the PPEC as well. I think that is an amazing thing for families. The kids, yes, but I think for families, the parents, it's lifesaver.
Especially like the mother in your situation. Typically, it's hard for you to feel the trust to get someone to take care of your child. And when you know that there's skilled nurses and CNAs and these people are medical professionals, it makes you feel a little bit easier. And as you go and get more comfortable with it, it's a little easier, and then it becomes normal. And it's just like sending your child to school. And now, like you said, you can work, or we have parents that go to school. Like, this is their opportunity. Now they can take care of themselves.
Right.
Now they can better themselves for their family and go to school and get a career, or provide for their family. And it's such a great thing. It also gives the siblings a chance for them to have time with their parents as well. We're open on Saturdays. Not all PPECs are, but we are open on Saturdays. So we do get parents that their children have sports on Saturdays. So the other children will go to their sports, and the child will come to us, and they know they're in good hands.
That is awesome to be able to do that and not have, because nursing on Saturday is impossible almost. So that is a plus to know. And you're right, the other siblings are able to get. Wow, this is really good.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing, because even just talking about that, we were just talking about, what'd you do over the weekend? And, this is like, my son has been in spring ball since March. And this is the first game that I've gotten to go to because we don't have, care on the weekends. And it's too hot for her to be sitting outside, my daughter to be outside, all day during the game. So, I don't take her there. So therefore, one of us just takes him to the game, and most of the time it's bad. So, finding care on the weekend, it is very hard to be able to show those other siblings, like, I care about you. I'm not only focusing all my attention on, this child that has medical needs, and that you matter too. I don't know. Are you guys open on school holidays or days when schools are out?
So we are also open on most school closings, except the only days we're really closed are typically Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's Day. Most other times we're open. New Year's Eve we might be open a half a day. We'll take a poll to see how many children will attend, and then if there is enough children, we will be open.
That's
nice.
That's
the great thing about us is,
because I know too.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The great thing about us is we don't call out. We don't call out. We're not
Okay.
going to call and say, we're not going to, opposed to home health,
Yeah.
you're not going to get that call from us saying we can't make it today.
Right.
We'll always be there.
Right. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good plus when
So
you're
my
trying
daughter,
to
she
work.
has been in PPEC since what? She came out the NICU. And I think we've had just one time where the PPEC was like, we don't have enough staff here. So like they come because I don't have enough staff. So, we've had a staffing issue before at the PPEC, but that is also a plus too to going to the PPEC. That they're always going to be there and they're always available and you don't have to worry about the call outs. It's there for you. And then also with the being open on the days that the kids are out of school normally, I take that time and I like do something with my son. I'm like, okay, this is our day to do something since we don't get time together, talk and just see how he's feeling, mentally, physically, and everything. Just I take the time to do something with him. So I'm thankful that the PPECs are in on those days that the schools are closed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were also talking about seeing the services that your daughters were receiving. So can you talk a little bit about exactly what services are offered at the PPEC?
So we offer physical, speech, and occupational therapy, all in-house. So the child gets it when they're there. The parent doesn't have to take them to all these appointments, and they can get them 2 to 3 times a week, where they're able to get a lot of therapy, and the parent doesn't have to drive them from place to place or appointment to appointment. The other thing is we do provide transportation services, so we will pick the child up from the home and bring them back at the end of the day.
That is awesome. And so you guys are located in St. Augustine?
Yes, we have a center in St. Augustine. We also have one in Palatka,
Okay.
one in Dunellen, which is by Ocala.
Okay.
Then we have Fort Lauderdale and Lake Park as well.
That is awesome. That is great. That is great.
So for the St. Augustine location, how far out do you guys travel to pick up the kids?
Within an hour, we'll travel to pick up.
Whoa.
And each
So
bus
do you
is,
have any kids in Jacksonville?
I believe we have 1 or 2 right now in Jacksonville. Yes.
Okay.
So we do send the bus out there.
So would that be like
daily.
in the Nocatee area, or like how is that, like on the border of Jacksonville that you go to?
Yeah, typically, that in that area, the Nocatee, anything kind of south Jacksonville.
Okay.
Like Julington Creek and stuff, maybe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
That's
hour away.
good.
Okay.
That is really good. That is awesome. And so they do need a order from the doctor to attend, correct?
Yes. So the first step was typically, if the parent contacts us, then we contact the primary care physician for a order. And on that order, they'll state their diagnoses. And then once we get that order back, we typically schedule an assessment. And then that's when the parent will come in with the child as well. And we'll get the whole history, everything we can find out, and write a plan of care. So our director of nursing will then at that point write a plan of care for 6 months, because the children are approved 6 months at a time.
Cool.
And they'll go through birth history, anything, and then also anything that will be pertinent to the child's daily care, and things they like, things that don't like, and everything that could come up within taking care of them. So then once that plan of care is written, it's then sent back to the pediatrician for signature. What they sign off on it, then it gets sent to the insurance company or Medicaid for approval.
Okay. And when you say insurance companies, do you guys take commercial insurance?
So most of it is Medicaid, lookalike or subsidy. Um, you know, the unfortunate thing is the commercial insurances do not recognize PPEC in their billing codes.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
But if the child is under 5, the parent can apply for Healthy Kids and pay
Right.
for Florida Healthy Kids. And
Mm-hmm.
under 5 is a Medicaid lookalike. So they can pay for the Florida Healthy Kids, get that Medicaid lookalike, and then get PPEC services, at no cost.
Okay. That's good to know for people out there.
Oh.
So you can still have that option.
Yeah. Yeah, I said under 5, but I think it's actually 1 to 5 because I don't think they can apply for Healthy Kids until they're 1 years old.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. And then, so then they'll get the plan of care. And then how does the therapies come in?
So the same thing will basically happen with that. Once they start, the
Mm-hmm.
therapist then will do an assessment and write a plan of care for them as well.
Okay.
That each therapy will do that. So speech, occupational, and physical therapy will do that. They'll get evaluated, then go based on their professional opinion how many times the child needs to be serviced within a week, within a month, and what their goals are. So they'll come up with their goals and what they'd like to see them doing at the end of the 6 months, and they'll track that along the way.
Okay. That's good. That is really good. Great opportunity
And
for
so, yeah,
families.
Yeah,
yeah.
it gives the ability to have all those services under one roof.
Mm-hmm.
Which can be a big thing for, some families might not be able to, you know, to commute to all these appointments, or they
Right.
might not be able to commute to, you know, therapy, or, you know, where we have that ability. Our buses are also, wheelchair equipped, so each one can hold up to 4 wheelchairs. Um, it gives each bus also has an escort, which is either a nurse or a CNA on depending on the child's needs that's on the bus.
That's good.
With the room, like okay, when you go into the facility, are the kids separated by age or like their disability? Have all kids in one room? Like, how does that look when you go inside of
So,
the PPEC? Because I've been in somewhere you go in and it's just like open and all the kids are all in one area from birth to 18.
so we like to separate based on ability. So each, not so much age, but more on ability. So each room, is set up a little bit different, and they'll be broken up based on the ability and what, how they maneuver and things like that. Um, in St. Augustine, we have 3 different rooms that are open daily, and
Mm-hmm.
one is more for children that require to be in a bed most of the day, and the other one is for more that toddler age where they're up and moving around. So each one is a little bit different on how it's set up, but all of our rooms are friendly. They're inviting. They're decorated with nice things on the walls, and color. It's colorful. It's a very, when you walk in it, you don't feel like you're going into a medical facility. You feel like you're going into a happy place. You know.
That's good. That's good. I know
Yeah.
when my son was in when he started maybe around 18, 19 months, and it was just being kind of overwhelming to take him back and forth to therapies and trying to work because most places close at 5, 6 o'clock or last appointment. So getting off at 5:30 was hard for him to do therapy. So I ended up, while he was in the PPEC, switching him to there. So it was a lifesaver with that. And then, like you said, taking their first steps, they were able to witness him, because they used to call them like the boy clique or whatever. It was like he got with these group of kids. They were all the same age, all different abilities and stuff like that. And I guess he wanted to keep up with them. So he would be walking, holding on to the wall. And then next thing you know, he just took off. And I was like, they were like, oh, he's in the big boy classroom now. So I know what you mean by the different classrooms.
Yeah.
And he finally moved over there. And he would just run into the PPEC and be like so excited. And it was just happy as a mom to be able to see that. Like he would come home with his, because I mean, I would cry in the NICU because I thought I was going to miss so much of that daycare stuff where, you know, they come home with the little different things, and he would come home with little things, and I'd be like, oh, you made this. I don't know how much he put into it, but it was still just the thought. And they would do like little projects with them, and it was like just a real I mean, the kids love it. They were have a blast. And I know I talked to some parents and they get very, no, I'm scared to send them to a PPEC. I'm terrified. And I'm just like, I try to tell parents it's hard. I mean, I cried the first 2 weeks going to work, just like, oh my goodness, but it was just like, okay, I'm not leaving my baby home with just one nurse. There's a bunch of nurses, a bunch of CNAs. My son has a trach, and he was off the vent when we went, but he still had to have it with him just in case he needed any support. But it was just a bunch of trained people instead of one person in my house while I'm at work. And if they freak out or they don't come, then I have to call out of work. So I think, parents just sometimes really need to just think about, weigh the pros and cons, and just take that step. Because it was a great, we're in regular school now, but it was a great experience. Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's the benefit. These nurses are skilled in taking care of every aspect of that child. I'll be honest with you. Some of our centers, we send them to the local hospital. Our nurses have to stay with the child until they transfer them, because the nurses aren't familiar with the child and the child's needs. So if we have a child that's in distress and they have to go to the hospital, we send one of our nurses, and they stay there until the parents arrive, because we are, our nurses know what they're doing with the child. Where sometimes a hospital, even if it's a local children's hospital, in some of our areas, they're not prepared to handle them.
Right.
Wow, that is amazing. You guys have some amazing things going on that some of the, local PPECs here in Jacksonville, they don't offer a lot of those services, like that.
We've been around a long time, and it's not about us. It's about how we can benefit the child and the family, and the socialization the child gets. Like you were talking earlier, with seeing the others walk, and getting to go interact with everybody. I have a presentation that I do for people, and I talk about the tribe. It takes a tribe, and it's everybody at our facilities, from the front desk to the housekeeper to the drivers. They all build relationships with the children, and they all love them. And that's what, when a parent is hesitant to send their child, they don't realize that these people that are taking care of them, they really do love them. They get attached. Our drivers, they'll come in every day a little early to spend time with the child, and they'll make sure that their birthdays, they're giving them little things. It's really just amazing, that the way that everybody grows and loves, and comes attached almost to the children that attend.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah, that is another thing too. Talking about how, excuse me, parents might feel uncomfortable sending their child to the PPEC because they, like, how have like the fear of the unknown, basically, and they're not able to keep their eyes on their child at all times. And then I know also another fear that a lot of parents have also is that they're like, okay, my child, they can't walk. So, are they going to be with the child that can walk, and, they'll be messing with them and they can't, say something or defend themselves. So that's another fear. So that's good that, the children are separated by ability, because a lot of times too, when you get into the public school system, they're not able to separate the children like that. And so, that gives a little bit more comfort to the parent, knowing that they're with children that are like them.
Mhm.
And then when they have the children, that are like them, then that's relieving the stress. But is there like a max capacity that you guys have at the PPEC?
So each one, it depends on the square footage of the center and what they're licensed for.
Okay.
They license it per beds. Our St. Augustine location is licensed for 42.
Wow.
I think we're currently at 27 on our census. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We did, we have the ability to expand into another room at the facility if needed to and get relicensed for more children, but we haven't reached that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Media.
But what, going back on what you said is the ability for you to trust the parent or the people taking care of your child. Also, all of our facilities, I don't think all PPEC studies, we have video, recording.
Whoa. That is a game changer right there.
It's not audio, but it is video. So and it comes a little tricky when it comes to, you being able to see that footage because of HIPAA and because of all those rules. But there is instances where, it can be redacted or different things like that. It takes a lot of IT work. But if you ever had anything questioned, we can review the cameras. Then, we can review it with you if it's one of those things where, you're like, well, I want to know for sure. And so all the rooms, I want to say, each facility is a little different because of the room sizes, but they all have, multiple DVRs with, 20, 30, 40 cameras.
And that's just comforting to know, because even if the staff knows that, they know they're always on camera, they're going to act accordingly. So that's really good.
Big Brother's always watching.
Right. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you guys are still accepting, you have space for more children right now.
Yeah, we do have space in St. Augustine. We have, I want to say probably about 10 more. We're really excited too. We just hired, we've had a director of nursing, but she, with her children and everything, is taking a little bit of a different role. So we hired a new director of nursing who had worked for us 3 or 4 years ago, and she's coming back to be the director of nursing at the facility. We're really excited.
Wow. Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And so a parent can drop off their child. They provide, the parent packs like the diapers, the formula for the child, and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. So the parent diapers, we supply wipes. The formula the parent supplies. If the child eats, we are part of the child care food program. That's just another thing that sets us apart. Not all PPECs are part of the child care food program. So we'll provide breakfast, snack, and a lunch throughout the day for for children that eat by mouth. Also, we will puree it for children that don't eat by mouth, so they can eat the same food pureed, that the other children are eating, and that's at no cost, to the family.
That is amazing. That is definitely a plus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's one of those aspects where there's a lot of PPECs, but not everybody does things the same, and we want to make it, it's hard for parents, and especially now, the cost of food to feed your child every day, and supply lunch and snack and all that. This gives us the ability to supply all that. We have a menu on our website that rotates. It's a rotating menu, and so you'll know what they're eating.
Oh wow, this is like luxury people.
I feel like you're at the Goddard School or something.
Right. This is 5-star right here. This is on my island. I love it. Wow. But you guys really do think of like the family and have everything. I mean, you covering the therapies. Now we just touched on the food, transportation. Like, wow. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's the ability. It's helping the child. It's helping the family. It's helping everybody, and in turn, it's really about making the quality of life for the child better and for the
Mm-hmm.
families.
Yes.
It gives the family, like we discussed earlier, a chance to do those other things,
Right.
spend time with the other children, so they're not getting so upset, and you know so a lot of times it's moms, and there
Mhm.
is some amazing dads, but a lot of times it's moms that do most of the care for the child, right? So it gives you guys a chance to have the ability to do things, to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm speechless. I might need to move to St. Augustine.
I'm trying to tell you, this sounds like this is
I might need to think about
really
taking
nice.
that move down there.
Yes.
Yeah. uh, you know,
Okay.
we've had a lot of experience getting, been doing it for a long time. Like I said, my my wife's grandfather started the company. You want to hear a story how it started? My
Yes.
facts might be a little off. Okay. Um, so this is another good one.
Wow.
So my wife's grandmother was sick in the hospital at Moffitt Cancer Center, which is in Tampa, and the grandchildren couldn't visit her where she was. So when the grandchildren went to go visit, like my wife and her sisters and her cousins, they'd have to go to the children's section of the hospital. And her grandmother said to her grandfather, I know I'm not going to be around much longer, but what I would like you to do is in your next, because they were business people, and they had came from New York and sold a business and came down here and were looking to start something new. And she said, I'd like you to find something that will help these children.
Mm.
And at that time, uh, they met a nurse who had wrote a paper about the PPEC model, and it really wasn't in place yet. So they got involved with them and said, decided they were going to partner or whatever it was, but then they decided that no, we're not going to partner with you, and would you mind if we went somewhere else and started our own facility?
Wow.
And at they got licensed in the Tampa area, and we got licensed in uh, Fort Lauderdale, and took us a
Wow.
long time. We were open Fort Lauderdale in 1988,
Oh my
and
goodness.
it took us a while. Then Spring Hill was our next center, and since that Spring Hill, we've kind of steadily grown, and now um, we're going to Texas. There's only
Oh
six
my
PPECs in
God.
the state of
Wow.
Texas,
Wow.
and we've got a building that's being modeled right now. Texas is a little harder getting the
Um,
everything approved, so it's taking a little longer than we anticipated. But hopefully within a year we'll be open in Texas.
oh wow. That is awesome. That is amazing. I know I talk to a lot of parents in other states and stuff. And when I would talk to them about, oh, my son's going to daycare, and they'd be like, "You have a daycare that accepts your child? What?" And I'd be like, "Oh no, it's for you guys don't have that." And they'd be like, "No." They would be like working with other daycares, trying to teach just a regular teacher to, feed their child G2 because they had to go to work. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wow, I thought every state had it, but no.
It really should be something in every state.
Yeah.
We have a pretty good social media following. We have like 35,000 people on TikTok, 25,000 followers on YouTube,
Wow.
um, in the thousands for the other platforms. But we get commented all the time. When can you come to my state?
I'm
Can you come to
sure.
our state? Can you come?
Wow.
You know, I wish we could go everywhere and help people because it is such a need, and
Yeah.
more states should start looking into the way it's done. Texas is really. I had the opportunity to go to Texas last month and go in front of legislators and talk about how we do it here in Florida a little bit,
Mhm.
and they're going to start doing things almost the same, and it might even be a little bit better in Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I
Congratulations,
follow a
Mike.
Texas group on Facebook, and to hear like all the parents, because we thought about moving to Texas before, and like to hear all the parents say all the things they have to go through, or there's not a lot of services, not a lot of
Yeah.
support, and the laws, and you know, just the insurance and the facilities available, traveling so far since Texas is so big, but and there's so many little different I don't know what you call them, but little cities and like subsidiaries, whatever. So it's just a lot. So that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is congratulations. That
Yeah.
is
Thank you.
awesome.
It's exciting to, to bring it somewhere else where it's not as familiar, because there's a lot in Florida now. I mean, there's still not many, but compared
Mm-hmm.
to, what it used to be, there is a lot more.
Right. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So people, what are you guys on
So do you have
TikTok?
kids? Oh.
Sorry, what was that?
Who are you, how can people follow you on TikTok?
We are at Team Tender Care.
Team Tender Care. Okay.
Yeah. We've had some videos go viral. We've got some amazing videos. Some of our older videos, you'll see kids taking first steps, kids using
Oh.
their kids using their communication devices, and and having conversations, learning different things, different therapies. It's we get to capture some amazing moments.
Yeah. So do you have any kids that are in the hospital homebound program at the
So
facility?
at St. Augustine, I believe we have one or two. Um, we're not at the point we are like at Spring Hill and Fort Lauderdale. We have uh, a, a large number where we have another person that helps the hospital homebound teachers with the program.
Oh, wow.
That they are part of their, almost teaching, and they do other things with them while the teachers aren't there. So they keep
Hmm.
them and make sure they're getting these things done.
And so, guys, in case you don't know what the hospital homebound is, hospital homebound is basically, when you go and you're entering your child into the public school system, and you get your assessments, and they get an IEP, or what have you. Basically, if your child qualifies, unfortunately, like if they're sick enough, then you have proof that they need to not be in a public facility. They have some reasons that they can't go to public school. Then you are able to have a teacher come to your home or come to the PPEC and receive school education services, um, wherever you home program. And I know in Duval, we have the hospital homegrown program, but with the teacher shortage, it's been very hard and just difficult for the teachers to meet the needs of a lot of children here. But that is an option that is available to you if your child is not able to go to the public school. You can opt for the hospital homebound, but you have to again show proof that your child needs to be in the hospital homebound. Typically, that is how it works. And then so during the summertime, I know a lot of the PPECs, they have the school kids from the different schools that are that have IEPs or other medical needs, but they're going to school, that they come to the PPEC during the summer. So do you guys have a lot of kids come during the summertime
We
and like
do.
spring?
Yeah. We do. Spring break, Christmas break, and summertime are typically our busiest times, where we have children that are typically in the school system. We've had, some success stories at some of the centers where they've started with us on hospital, or started with us and went through hospital for 2 or 3 years, and now they're going into third or fourth grade on school level. And that was amazing for us to be able to help the child through, and then they're on grade level at third or fourth grade after they leave us.
Wow.
Yeah. But also with the hospital homebound program, like So every county is a little different. It depends on the county and the county's uh, the county school board and the people higher up. But in Hernando County, they do also work, and they do summer school with the kids that are hospital homebound. So they'll get summer school where the teachers are still coming out to see them during the summer.
Wow,
Nice.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that they do that in Duval County too with the hospital homebound.
they probably do.
But it
They
might be
probably
like,
do.
I don't know if they come, not as much as they normally would come during the school year.
Yeah, I think the hours are a little less. Instead of being maybe a half hour or an hour per subject, maybe it's a half hour per subject. Depending on how that goes. But the hospital homebound program is a great alternative if your child's not going to be able to get the nursing care or the direct care they need, because our PPEC ratios, I don't know if you are familiar, but they're 3 to 1. So
Wow.
we need one staff member for every 3 children in the building. So they're not going to get that type of ratio, at a school. Even if they have a para with them, it's still not going to be the same as going and getting that nursing ratio that we are
Right.
able to provide at a PPEC facility.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
So, um, you know, a couple more questions and we will wrap up. But so, what would the typical communication look like for the parent at the end of the day? How do you communicate with them how their child's day has went? If they need anything particular, or how do you communicate with the parents at the end of the day?
So we use an electronic medical record program, and
Okay.
all the nursing is done in that program and started throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, you'll get a note from the nurse how the child's day was, what therapies they had, their bowel movements, what they ate, or what percentage they ate of their food, and basically a synopsis of their day. And it's all sent via our patient portal.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
We
Very
So
started
the
good.
doing
parents have an app on their
so.
phone?
Unfortunately, the program does not have an app yet.
Oh,
Hopefully,
okay.
that's something that comes in the future. But it is sent through email, and then they
Oh,
can log in
Oh,
on their phone through
oh,
the mobile site. So they'll get a notification that they've got a message sent to them, and then they can log in and see the message of, the day the child had, when they took a nap and when they ate, and if they went outside. We really are big on having them have some sort of normalcy and try to get the kids outside, during the day.
wow.
And every one of our facilities has a outdoor playground except for Palaca, but they do have an amazing indoor playground.
Okay.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. And so I know that a lot of parents out there, they don't even know that a PPEC exists. They don't know what it is. They didn't even know that it was a resource available. And so, what are some things, since you are the director of marketing, what are some tools or some things that you do to be able to get this information out there to these parents to let them know that, this service is available?
So, like we just did, that you attended, and you were a
Yeah.
wonderful guest speaker. One of the things we've started to do is a resource expo, because besides us, there's so many other resources in the community that parents aren't available or don't realize that they qualify for. You
Right.
know,
Sure.
they might, by putting all of these services in one place, and the parent has the ability to come and talk to all these providers, all these resources. It will open their eyes and the ability for them to see that, oh man, I didn't realize that they had this available to us in this area. You know, we had we had music therapy at our resource expo. We also had hippotherapy, there, and all these things. There's ABA therapists, so many different resources that are, you know, so beneficial, and the child, or they can qualify for, and they might not realize it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
I was, every time that I go and I meet a new family and I am like, you didn't know the service was available? And I'm just like, how, especially for, I feel like younger um, people that have kids with disabilities, they just like have their grandparents and they kind of, leave the grandparents to help out or their parents. And they don't know that the service is available. And so I always wondered if, a marketing tool could be to go to the hospitals, go to those NICU programs and like leave brochures or flyers or I know like have someone come and talk to the families, when they're there to also spread the information and let them know, after you leave here, if your child needs these services, they are available and this is how you go about getting into them and XYZ. Is that something that you guys have thought about doing or?
So I'm going to give away all my secrets here, but I one of the things that I want to do, and it's a lot harder than um, I thought would be, is I wanted to give a care package to the parents leaving the NICU.
Oh,
That's nice.
And I wanted to be able to give some of our information with it, but
yeah.
it it is very hard to get to talk to someone at the hospital that will allow you to come speak
Yes.
to parents, or
Yeah.
they it's that's proved to be very hard. um,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of presentations at doctors offices because even doctors still don't
Yeah.
understand what we are, or that our services are available for these children. So going into the doctor's offices and letting them know what we offer, and the ability we have to help them care for the child as well, by communicating with them what's going on, as opposed to just taking the parents' word for it. We have nursing notes every day that the doctors could look at, and
Mhm.
if there's something going on with the child, they could see it. So those type of things, building relationships with the doctors is one of the biggest things. And really, our website has been a big focus of ours, trying to put as much information as possible that can help a parent. We've started a new blog series where you met Aurora. She's writing blogs once a week, with different things and helpful tips for parents. Myths and facts of feeding tubes, myths and facts of trachs. And she's doing her research, getting input from nurses. The
Yeah.
one that's coming out this week is a myth and fact on hippotherapy. So we're really trying to make our website that resource for parents as well.
Nice.
And I
Nice.
think what I do like, I followed you guys on TikTok now. I'm a big social media person. That's how I get a lot of information for my son. And you're right, because I used to work in a doctor's office and it was for mostly typical kids. But, of course, some special needs patients would come there. And the doctors, they would be like, well, where's your son at? And I'd be like, oh, he's at a PPEC. And they would be like, well, what is that? Do you feel safe?
Mhm.
And so they were not aware. So when they would have kids, they'd be like, oh, well, tell the parent to look up PPECs and stuff like that. Because I couldn't tell them which PPEC, he went
Right,
to and stuff
Right.
like that.
right.
But I think what you guys are doing on TikTok is amazing. It is amazing. I am like a big special needs mom now on TikTok. I love it. I mean, you find out so much information. For you guys to have 35,000 followers
Yeah.
and getting engagement, that is amazing for you guys to take that time out, because a lot of PPECs don't have that. They'll have the Facebook page and that's about it. And you might
Mhm.
see them post maybe once a month, or, so for you guys to really be doing that, I think that is getting in touch with the younger, you're going to where they're at.
Yeah,
And I think
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And then
yeah,
for the parents to even like be okay with that and allow you guys to like share their children's stories is amazing, because I feel like also for a long time, a lot of parents may have been scared to let people into their world and let others see what's going on with their child, and because they have a disability and things. So to know that more families are open to sharing their stories and their journeys and how their kids are progressing. That is just amazing that, you know, you guys are able to have that there at the center.
So when a child starts, we have them sign a release that we can, that if they're okay with it, we'll use their photos and their videos, you know, on social media and our websites. And it really, it, some of the videos the parents share, and it makes them proud, you know, it's showing what their child's doing. And, you know, it gives it, again, it gives you more of that ability to, you know, a look into the life of the child, and really we can spread awareness, you know, for the special needs community, you know, because I think that is that awareness and acceptance almost, you know. And that's one thing that I've been blessed with is being able to raise my children now, my, you know, my older ones, to be aware and to accept and to, you know, become friends and you know, build bonds with these kids. My son Evan, he's my Brittany met him. He's my
the one. Oh my gosh, he is something. Okay, he is a marketer and training. Like he's gonna. Oh my gosh, he is amazing. I'm like, oh, he will promote, he will video, he does everything.
Oh, that's good. How old is he?
He's 9, gonna be 10.
Oh wow.
Yes. Like he's like interviewing people and everything.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And we need more of that, because then that makes us feel good about our kids, that your 9-year-old understands the need and the importance and is excited about it, when he could be doing, you know, like our kids used to be pushed in the closet typically, you know, and for him to be so like, that's good. That's good. You guys are doing a good job then. That's awesome.
So he when I was at our Dunellen facility, because I was an administrator there for some time, he would come with me to work. And you know, when everything with COVID, you know, was going on, everything, he would come with me sometimes to work there, you know, more often than not, because just all sorts. So he ended up getting the title of a PTAA. So he was the physical therapist assistant. And he loved it. He wants to be a physical therapist if he's not going to be some sort of, you know, politician or whatever, you know. But
that is amazing. That is awesome. That is awesome.
And it's all about bringing that awareness. And this past weekend we went to the Miracle League of Palm Beach County, and I was a buddy along with my daughter, and Evan was there with he was too young to be a buddy, but he was able to be the catcher for the game. So all 3 games he was the catcher, and you know, high-fiving the kids as they're coming through home, and you know, it was an amazing experience for the whole family, you know. And my goal is, you know, I know there's one in St. Johns County. There's the Field of Dreams is in you know, St. Johns County, Jacksonville area. They're doing amazing things. My goal is to get us involved more up there with them, and then also my long-term goal is to bring the Miracle League to where I live, and you know, either run it here or you know, I find someone to help run it. But because baseball is one of the things I love, and when you can combine 2 of the things I love, you know, that's incredible.
Awesome. My son, we joined Field of Dreams this year.
Yes.
And it has been, it's like so touching to just see the kids, like, and, you know, you hear the parents talk and they said, oh, they told me my child was never going to do this. And the kids get excited. Like, there's this one guy, after he hits, he goes to the fans and he's like, come on, clap it up. Like, hey, I just did. We're all there cheering for everyone's kid. And it's just like, it's somewhere where your child feels safe. There's, you know, and the buddies are awesome. Everyone is just amazing. So yeah, that's awesome. And I'm glad you get your kids involved. That's awesome.
Yeah. I went to the Field of Dreams fundraiser dinner and a couple months back, and really we want to get involved. And up there because, again, it's an amazing thing. You go to one of those games and, not just for the child, but for the parents, for you guys, you get to witness your child on the field. And you get to,
Yeah.
And I don't just everybody clapping, and
Yeah.
it's an incredible experience.
Everyone claps for everyone's child, whether they hit the ball, don't hit the ball, whether they're laying out doing angels on the ground. Everyone's getting a clap. Like, we are just so proud. Like, it is amazing. And there's this one little girl, she has spina bifida, so she's in a wheelchair, and she hits that ball, and she has the strength. She wheels herself around the whole field. So we're like, girl power, go. And it's just like so amazing. I mean, and they have to do buddies protect your players because some of those kids really hit that ball. It's like home run,
Yeah.
and it's so cute. And all the buddies have so much patience because I don't know how they do it, but because I know my son one day he had 2 buddies. He was such a handful. I was like, so they're like, no, it's fine. They pick the kids up if they don't run. And I mean, each kid gets to bat like 2 or 3 times. I mean, it's an awesome time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had my last game on Saturday. I had a 5-year-old, and he gave me a run for my money. He was all over. He was all over.
Yeah.
Going in the other, he went in the other team's dugout, and it was hot. So he's like, I got to have 2 bottles of water before I come back out.
He's a negotiator. That is so cute. That is cute.
Wow.
But I think more of, if you guys bring one to St. Augustine, that would be good to get more, because I see it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing experience.
It is.
It's
and it gives that parent again that normalcy.
Exactly.
When your kid dressed ready for T-ball, you don't have to worry about, he's got a diaper on. It's everyone is okay.
Right. And most of the parents are understanding. So you're also around people that are understanding of what you're going through as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, man, we talked about the PPEC. We talked about how you can get into the PPEC and what services are offered at the PPEC and the amazing things that they do there at the PPEC to include the families and just to help out and give you a little bit of a break and feel like your child is somewhere where they are accepted and you can still have somewhat of a normal life. And, overall, that's what the PPEC is for. And we're so grateful that the people are around. And I that Thomas was able to come on here and give us information about the PPEC and the wonderful things that they are doing and the services that they have. So, Thomas, if you could tell everybody where they can find information about their PPEC, Facebook, your Instagram, the website, and where you're located in St. Augustine. And before we head out, that would be awesome.
Yep. So you can find all the info you want on us at tcms.care. That is our website. It is easy. So tcms.care, not .com. .care is a new thing and makes it easy for people to remember. Also, we are on Facebook at Tender Care PPEC, and then we are Team Tender Care on Instagram and on TikTok, and then YouTube is Tender Care PPEC, and then we're located on off of Wildwood in St. Augustine. The facility does provide transportation up to an hour away from the facility with our drivers and nurses. So, and if you need help getting there for an appointment, or if it's harder for the parent to make an appointment with us, give us a call. Maybe we can maybe we can make transportation to pick the child and parent up as well.
Nice. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to start looking at St. Augustine and where we can move.
They're
St.
listen, they are
Augustine.
building so much in St. Augustine, it's unbelievable.
They are.
There's so much
Yeah.
over there, and the area is really growing. The traffic is getting a little crazy. There's always the tourist traffic you're in the
Yeah.
historic part, but now even on the other roads, it's definitely growing.
It's building up.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I thank everybody for watching today, for tuning in. This will be available on Spotify and our YouTube channel, Two Moms and Some Labels. Thank you again so much. It'll be on our Facebook page, Two Moms and Some Labels, for you to have a live replay of this episode. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Thomas, for joining us today. I hope that you have all found this informative and gained a lot of information, and will search PPECs and see what's near you so that you can, take some stress off of your shoulders. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you guys for what you're doing for this community.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. We'll see you all on the next episode of Two Moms and Some Labels.
See you later. Have a good one. Bye.